This is a video that I've been looking forward to making for some time, and we're going to be talking about how we're living in a more consumer minded capitalism world than ever before, and how this is affecting a lot of young men when it comes to their attractiveness and what they perceive as being an attractive young man, particularly with dating apps becoming a more common way of people finding someone on an intimate romantic kind of basis. So let's talk about this for young men. Let's take dating apps for example. Tinder, Hinge, I've kind of used them all. I remember being 19 or so after I broke up with my girlfriend and using Tinder for the first time, and I was actually quite pleasantly surprised at how well I did. I managed to get quite a lot of matches, and I would have quite a lot of girls message me, and this was pretty good. But I just remember kind of just going around in circles and being like, this is not going anywhere. I try and arrange meets and stuff like that, and a lot of the conversations were not great at all. And it got to a point 3 or 4 months into my experience where I was just like, this is not worth it. I'm not gaining anything from this. I'm not particularly... The women that I was getting were okay, but they weren't really what I truly desired if I was gonna kind of go outside and find someone that I wanted to be with long term, a potential wife kind of candidate, so to speak. And a lot of men use dating apps, like I say, and will probably not do as well. It's very hard because they're so male dominated to find matches and to find attractive matches that you would actually really want to be with in the outside world. And a lot of men will use these apps for maybe 3-6 months and realise, like, I'm not having a lot of luck with this, so it must be that I'm ugly, so I need to change something about this. And the easiest way that Tinder and all these other dating apps will trick you into this is to tell you to buy Tinder Gold. And this will get you more matches, it will get you more women. They're going to put you out to a higher pool of women, so more women will see your profile. And I think you can also match with a lot of women that have liked you that you either may have not seen or probably swiped and thought, no, they're not for me whatsoever. And you can kind of go back to these women, and maybe at the time you thought, no, they're disgusting, I wouldn't go anywhere near them. You take a second look at them and you're like, okay, maybe they're not that bad. Maybe I'll just kind of settle for that because I'm not getting much luck. And a lot of this is a true story. A lot of these guys genuinely will do this. I hope for yourself that you haven't paid for Tinder Gold or anything like this, but a lot of other options that men will go through if they're struggling with dating apps. They think, okay, well, I'm really skinny, I'm insecure, so I'll start hitting the gym. And I'm not saying by any means that the gym is a waste of time, but it's one of the things that completely transformed my life, and I'd 100% recommend anyone getting into the gym. But it's just that men will look for these kind of things, that there's something insignificant about them, and that if they change this one thing, whether it be getting a bigger physique, becoming facially more attractive, having better fashion, having more kind of flashy things that they could show off on the dating apps, taking better photos where the lighting's better and they can show off their abs and do all these faces and make them just look a lot different. Like, a lot of women do this, don't they, where they look a lot different in real life than they do to their person. But a lot of men are trying to do this because they're really struggling with dating apps. And the main reason that it's like this on dating apps is, yes, it is very male dominated, which plays a massive factor. Women do have the kind of, they have the choice in the world. They could pretty much like any man if they're half attractive, and they'll probably end up matching with them sooner or later. But a lot of these dating apps genuinely don't have your best, they don't have your best interests at heart, let's be honest. And they're not looking for you to truly find someone that you would be with long term, because they wouldn't benefit from you. They want to keep you on that app for as long as they possibly can. And like I say, I use these apps, and I gave up. And then I remember maybe 6-9 months ago, I was like, I've leveled up quite significantly, and why not give dating apps another go? It'll be a bit of fun. I wasn't really sure what I was looking for, but I thought, okay, it should be quite fun anyway, because I've got a lot more attractive. I've been going to the gym for a while. I built up quite a good amount of muscle. I'm a lot better at taking photos. I feel a lot more confident in myself overall. So yeah, let's give dating apps another go. But this time, I actually didn't do as well as when I was 19 years old, quite skinny and not really trying at all in any of my photos. I just had photos that were probably a couple of years old, and I wasn't trying at all to make myself look good. They were just what I had. But obviously, it seemed a bit weird, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'm not getting what I want, so I'm just going to delete them. I'm not going to pay for Tinder Gold or anything like this. Deleted Tinder and Hinge off my phone, and I personally won't be on these apps ever again. So if you ever see my profile, it's definitely a fake profile, because I won't be using these apps again. I'm a lot stronger now than I was, and this is a big thing for me, because when I wasn't as strong, when I wouldn't get matches and stuff, it would hurt me. I'd be like, okay, like a lot of other guys, I'm not attractive, I'm not this, I'm not that, I need to do something about my appearance or whatever it may be. And before I mention my next point, there's actually this operation now that you might have heard about, where it's basically you can go to somewhere like Turkey and there will be this operation that will make you 3 inches taller. It extends your like thyroid muscles or something along those lines. I'll try find a clip and put it into this video. And this costs around, I think it's £40,000-50,000, which is absolutely ridiculous. But there are genuinely a lot of young men out there that are paying for this because they're so insecure, and we have been convinced by society that height, status and money are the most important things, particularly height. So many young men can be almost 5'8", 5'9", they're not even sure, but they're still insecure about their height because society has convinced them that if you're not over 6 foot, then you won't get women, you won't have a good life, you won't get promotions, you won't get the things that you want in life. But this could not be further from the truth. And if you think that adding 3 inches to your height is going to fix all your problems, then you're just completely delusional. If you can consciously make the decision to be like, yeah, I'm okay with spending 10s, 20, 30,000, thousands of pounds on an operation just to make me 3 inches taller, then you have deeper psychological problems that need to be fixed before you think about anything else. And you're going to be in this situation where you're going to be one of these guys that will be like, oh, okay, I've got the height now, let's get my teeth whiter, let's get a hair transplant, let's do this, let's do that. And you're going to just kind of, you're not even going to look like a man at all. You see a lot of these guys, you'll be like one of those guys on Love Island that they don't really look like men anymore. There's just, everything's fake, spray tan, fake abs, steroids, all of this stuff. And it's just, for you psychologically, you're going to really struggle when you're going to feel like you're always insignificant, and there's always something out there that is going to fix your problems, and you're not enough as you are. But there's always something that I like to remind myself when I get into these moments like yourself, where I think, oh God, if I was 6 foot, if I was earning this amount of money, if I had this, or if I just had, or if this was 1 inch this way, whatever, just these little things that we all kind of think about sometimes. I quickly snap out of it and realise that there's been someone in worse circumstances than myself that has done better than me, whatever that may be. I'm not talking about just looks or women or anything like that, but they've just done it better. They've just been like, okay, these are the cards that I've been dealt with, and I'm going to get on with it now. Like that's all you can do. You shouldn't be looking for external things that can change things, because there is things for anything nowadays. I want to say, like, you shouldn't worry about things that you can't change, but nowadays there's not really a lot I can think about that there isn't a procedure out there that could probably change how you look significantly, whether that be your height, your face, your teeth, your obviously your physique. You can obviously look a lot better with steroids and bigger, but this is not going to be the answer for you whatsoever. And like I say, you're never going to be the tallest, you're never going to be the most attractive, you're never going to have the most money. There's always going to be someone out there that is better than you in some way, even though they're not better than you as a person, but from the external world, especially in this social media world that we're living in nowadays, you will look at them and be like, yes, they have that they have something that I don't have. But when it comes to women, and the women that I truly desire, the higher value women that I would look at, and they're not the girls that you see on Love Island, and they're not the girls with all the Botox and all the makeup and all of that. The women genuinely inside that have truly good morals and values and a truly kind of wife quality. A lot of these people that I see are with the guys that aren't the giga chads, so to speak, that all these guys on the internet believe that they are with. They're with the guys that maybe they don't have the most money, maybe they're not the most attractive, maybe they don't have the six-pack, but they make up with a lot of other good stuff, such as humour and values and just being caring and having a good personality and being confident. A lot of the stuff that is quite not really looked at anymore in the world that we're living in. But I think if any woman that you truly ask if she's genuine will value these stuff way more than just being that guy with the money, the fancy materialistic possessions that we get told is important nowadays. But I'll talk about not just from a looks and attractiveness perspective about how society kind of wants you to feed into that to the plan of being a consumer, and that a lot more people are feeding into this than ever. And let's look at this from a career basis. So a lot of people, including myself, went to university because, well, I personally did, and I know a lot of people did, because they didn't really know what to do. But we get told by the teachers and our parents that if we don't go to university, then we won't get a good job and we won't be successful. We'll be a bit of a bum, really. I remember being like 18, and if you weren't going to university, then people were like, what are you doing? Like, you've got to go to university. And most of the people that didn't, it just seemed like they, from my perspective, didn't really know what they wanted to do. They were kind of just didn't really want to do anything, and that was kind of the perceived message from society that I got given. And this could obviously not be further from the truth. You look at, there's countless examples out there, the Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos of the world. They're not people that have just gone to university and just built their career up like that. They're obviously people that have changed the world. And yeah, so it proves more than ever that going to university is not the be all and end all. Yes, education is very important, and if there's a specific career line that you want to go down and you need this degree for it, I've always encouraged you to do this. Definitely think it is very important. But you can be very successful without this, and there's countless examples of people who have become more successful than anyone that you would think in your kind of little town or city that you're from, that has managed to go on far beyond just getting that degree and having that job. And there's a lot more out there. So that was obviously another thing that society told us that was so important, that it's clearly there's countless examples and evidence out there to prove otherwise. Marriage, mortgage and kids is another thing that we get told a lot is very important. You want to be settled down nice and early. And I think for men that this is something that is a bigger problem. I think for women that having that, being married, being secure, having children before 30 would be a very good life. And I think if you speak to a lot of women, they would be very happy to live that lifestyle. But I think for a large proportion of men, particularly if they're full of testosterone, they're very purposeful men that have big goals that they want to achieve in their life, that living this lifestyle early on and settling down is not going to be enough for them. And for me, myself, that is not the lifestyle I'm looking to live. And do I want to have kids? Yes. Do I want to get married? Probably at some point. But it's not what I'm looking at now, and I don't really expect to be in that situation before I'm 30. I'm not going to rule it out. But it's definitely not my big dream or anything like that. There's other stuff that I want to achieve in my life, particularly before I go and kind of settle down and live that lifestyle. And I think that we've been told by society that this is what you should go for as a man. It's pretty much the same for a woman and a man. That's what society is saying. And this is not very true. I think for yourself, you will probably look at this and be like, yeah, if I'm being honest with myself, maybe I got told this, but if I really look inside, I've got bigger aspirations than this. One day, yes, I would like to have children. Yes, I'd like to be with a woman who I could raise a family with and have a really loving relationship. I'm sure you would love that. But there's other things in our life that we want to tick off first, and this is what we've got to remember. And I could go on about other areas such as materialistic possessions and how society convinces us that we need the flashier car, the flashier watch, and all of this stuff, but I think you get the overall message of what I'm saying, and this is natural that you need to remember this. Like I say, I've had moments where I feel insignificant and that I'm not doing enough, but you got to just snap out of this and remember that, like I say, someone has been in worse circumstances than you and done it even better than you. So if you are someone and you thought you are ugly through dating apps, through society, then I hope this video will help you kind of look at it from a different perspective and kind of just take yourself away. That's what I try and do. Take yourself away from social media and just listening to TV and anything like that, because it's so consumer minded. That's what they want you to feed into. So I hope you just take some time and realize that this is not the case. Chances are you are somewhat attractive young man, and you can do a lot to help yourself, and you don't need all this stuff that people will tell you need to do to become attractive as a young man. So if you are anyone who is looking for help on your journey, if you're that skinny guy that I was a couple of years and you want to put on some muscle, go to that jacked kind of guy that I kind of see myself as now, or if you're a very shy, introverted person and want to level up your confidence, your social skills, or any other unprecedented circumstances, believe me, I've been there and done that, then my one-to-one personal coaching link is below. And if you could like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.